Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am coming up here this time to bare my soul to y'all. Hence why I don't have any makeup on. So you guys are seeing all my little imperfection because I am going to talk about something that is very sensitive to me, and which is basically a topic that I like to avoid most of the time when people just mention it, and it's something I don't really like to talk about. But yeah, so I am going to bare my soul to y'all, and just stay tuned. From the title already, you know this is going to be a story time of something that actually happened in real life. So I wanted to talk about how I came here, and I mean not in Philly, but in general, how I came in America. As some of you know already, I am Haitian, and when I mean I am Haitian, I mean I am 100% Haitian. I was born there and I was raised there. I grew up there up until the age of 14, which is the time that I came up here in America. Up until I was 14, everything was peachy. Everything was okay, I guess. So it was in 2010, which is around, like I said, when I was 14. And it was like another day. It was a school day. There was nothing that would tell me, you know, that would even make us think that, oh, something bad is going to happen. The weather is not looking too great or anything like that. It was sunny. There was no issue at all. And I went to school, did whatever we had to do, and then got picked up by the driver, because most Haitian kids had drivers and stuff. So anyways, I got dropped off and I went to my mom's room immediately. I was supposed to do homework, but I never did. I usually just, before she comes home from work or my dad comes from work, I used to just sneak into her room and watch TV, because I didn't have any TV in my room. We didn't have that. We weren't allowed to have that. And my sister was at the time, my sisters at the time, she was with me also, because we went to the same school, and she went to the computer to actually play games or watch videos or whichever it was. And I was watching TV. I just felt like something bad is going on. Like, it started like very slight, and then out of nowhere it just shook. Like, everywhere was just shaking. I thought that I was going crazy. I thought it was in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? What the hell? So I go to the window, and I thought, you know, maybe it was a truck that was just dropping off rocks, because that happens sometimes and it does make a lot of noise. So that's what it was. But then I'm like, no, there's nothing outside, and I'm looking around. Everything is shaking. Everything is falling to the floor. So I just dash to my sister, and I'm like, yo, Sagila. And she's like, I don't know. In Creole, obviously. And then the way the computer was, where she was at, it was actually facing the stairs. So, and above the stairs, there was like a lot of decoration. My mom loves to decorate. And that's where there was a whole lot. There was like pots and picture frames, I think, some little porcelain dolls and statues, whatever, in a big ass mirror. And as I'm talking to her, I'm trying to figure out what the hell, and I'm like, yo, dude, what is it? Because we've never experienced something like this ever. So at least at that time, before, at least around us, we never had to deal with shit like that ever. So it was really a shock that this was going on. And I'm like, what the hell? Oh my God, I'm gonna die. This what's going on in my head. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die. And I'm looking at my sister, and I'm like, oh my God, like, we're going to die. We were the only two people in the damn house. Oh my God, what's going on? And then everything that was on the wall by the stairs just falls. So we were scared to even walk there because we didn't want to even go down the stairs and get hit by something and bleed on the floor. And thank God the mirror was actually attached to the wall, so that didn't really, it didn't come off. It actually just tilted, but it didn't fall. So that was a good thing about it. And then honestly, that wasn't a good idea. Because we never experienced it like this, we didn't know where we were supposed to hide. We didn't think about hiding where the door is, underneath the door and stuff like that. We didn't think about that. So my sister and I were literally just standing there and just looking at each other, and we're looking at the stairs. And then once everything broke, then me and my sister, we just ran down the stairs. And then as we're running down the stairs, we see more stuff coming down. Like, we're seeing more shit coming off. We had a bar full of alcoholic drinks and all that stuff. It's all coming down. And my mom was very, very strict about that. She didn't even want to let us, she would never even let us touch it unless there was like somebody was over or anything like that. So we weren't even allowed to touch the alcoholic drink. And yes, I drank before. I've been drinking like a long time, even before I was 14. But anyway, that's something. So we go to the back of the house, and then we meet the maid. And yes, we had maids. She's looking at us like, the fuck is going on? I'm like, I don't know. And then the dogs are actually just yapping and barking. Like, I can tell they're panicking, like they're scared too. This is a one-time thing. And we also had like a big ass house in the backyard that was specifically made for the maid and for whatever my dad needed on top. And there was another kitchen down there. So we're looking around, and then all we hear even more noise. Like, all of this is happening. I think within like maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes. I can't remember exactly the time limit, but it wasn't like it was 30 minutes which was happening. All of this is happening just in a short time frame, and all we hear is like, we hear things are falling down. It's not even just in our houses, but in our neighbors' houses. And we're hearing even more loud noises. And we literally figured out that it was just houses falling down or walls that were falling down. So my sister and I and the maid, we all run to the front, to the gate, and we step out because we don't know if our house is actually going to fall neither. And I'm over there like, and I'm looking at the side. No one is really on the street, which is kind of weird. I mean, in the neighborhood where I was at, you could really barely see people. You could barely hear people. And it was around like 3:30, 3:40. I can't remember exactly the time either. It was just after school. So I was just shocked that nobody was coming out their houses. And then I'm looking around, I'm like, oh my gosh, where's mom, where's dad? What the hell? What's going on? Is my mom alive? I don't have a phone. None of us have a phone. We didn't have a phone at all. We weren't allowed to have a phone. So I couldn't even contact my mom. I couldn't contact my dad. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And so we're just panicking, and we're like, oh my God, how is everyone? My aunt, my cousin, what's going on in my head? Like, it's like, what's going on with everybody? I hope they're doing it okay. I was just a mess. I started crying. My sister started crying, and then the maid started crying. We were all pretty much crying. Like, just don't know who is okay. We can't tell if everyone is okay, and we can't even go to our neighbors because we never talk to the neighbors. We don't know them, and they don't know us. So we're, like, as I said, we're stepping outside, just panicking, like really, and I mean like panicking. Like, I cried. I need to stop licking my lips because they're drying. I really do need to stop doing that. But anyways, and the stuff that was going through my head, y'all, it was extreme. Like, all I kept thinking about was death. I thought my mom died. I thought my dad died. I thought everybody in my family died. And it was just my sister and I that was just there. And I started thinking, oh my gosh, what the hell are we gonna do? Um, I'm just 14 and she's 12. I, we, it was just such a shock. It's not until afterwards and realized it's an earthquake. And then the maid starts to go around the neighborhood to see if everyone is okay or asking what's going on. And my sister and I were still outside the gate. We did not even want to step in. We were so damn scared. And then we heard cries. We heard people crying. We heard so many screams. And I still hear them from time to time. And it is just something that is just always going to be there. And we got hungry. I thought this is over and we started kind of calm down. The hunger strike. We got hungry as shit. And we just got hungry. We didn't know what to do, so we ate pretty much. And I remember what we had exactly too. We had rice and lalo, if I remember. I believe that is lalo. I just had a heart attack, so my bag just fell out of this. And yes, we ate. We had rice and lalo, which is like a veggie, a different type of veggies too. It's actually just leaves, made out of leaves, but that's not the point. So we ate. We're full. We sat down outside. Now, we did not even step a foot in the house. We actually went through the back to the outside kitchen and got our food and came right back outside the gate and just stayed there. Just sat there. We sat on the floor, if I remember. And we're just waiting. Then we hear cars coming. And I believe I saw my mom first. I believe my mom came first only because her job was kind of close to where we lived. It wasn't too far. So yeah, she came and she's panicking too. She's like, oh, but yeah. Oh, mes amis, Timon, appelle à manger. So basically, she came in and she was panicking. And then she was shocked to see us eating. And she was basically saying like, why are you guys eating? How come you guys are eating? Are you guys okay? Are you hurt? And we're like, no, we're okay. You know, honestly, now that I think back, we were pretty much calm after this whole thing. For somebody to go through an earthquake, I don't think it actually registered to us completely what was going on. I mean, after the initial shock, we kind of calmed down and it felt like it was right back to normal. We just didn't want to step inside the house because I think it was still, the shock was still there, but it wasn't at its full capacity, I would say. So when my mom found us, literally we were just eating. I think we were almost done eating. And she was surprised at how we were. And we're like, where's Dad? And she's like, I don't know. And right when she says that, I think like a couple more minutes, my dad comes. And then we all run to him and hugging him and crying. And then of course we hug our moms. And honestly, and somehow my mom found the phone and she was like, she couldn't get in contact with her sister or aunt. And then I started panicking again because it's like, oh my gosh, she saw her aunt. It's one of my favorite aunts. And then they're my cousins. My cousins are there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope they're okay because it was after school. Thank God it was after school and not during school because I feel like I wouldn't have made it if I was still in school. and thank God he came to pick us up early. The driver, he picked us up really early. Like as soon as school was over, he picked us up and got us home, and I think that was a blessing in itself too, which I am very grateful. I'm grateful for him also for that day. Maybe he felt something was going to happen. Not sure, but so when my mom finally got in contact with my aunt, I guess they talked and she told us that she was fine, the aunt was fine. Just like the house had some damage. I think it was just the outside wall that was just affected, really. But she was okay, and our cousins were okay. Godfather slash uncle was also okay. So everybody was okay in my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family, I was worried also. And my dad got the news that my other cousin, the son of his brother, he got trapped and under a house, and he was only 3 years old. At the time, if I remember, 3 or 4. He was young. And then I started crying. So I started to think about, oh my gosh, was I told me with him? I hope he goes through. I know he's gonna pull through. He's gonna be okay. And thank God he was. But I knew that he was very traumatized by being under a house. And after a couple hours, he got released, which was a good thing. And then last time I saw him, I could see the scars. But anyways, back to us. After finding out that everybody was good except for my cousin that was trapped, we ended up sleeping outside. We never did step a foot in except for my dad. My dad was very brave. He had guts. He still went into the inside. After like a couple nights, he got tired of sleeping outside, so he went to sleep inside. How he did that, I don't know how. I did not even want to step in. And to even take a shower, I was very skittish about it. It was like a fast shower, like just wash everything. But before that, we had a porch, and since we couldn't sleep really outside on the floor because the cars were there, we slept on the porch, and the porch didn't really have anything on top, so it wasn't safe neither, but it was better than being all the way outside the gate, or even. So we slept on the mattress, all of us, my dad, my mom, my sister, and I. We were bitten by mosquitoes every single damn night, and I mean, like, I had bites everywhere, and it's not like we could have those covers, but we were just bitten every night. But every night I could not sleep. Because all I was thinking about every time I closed my eyes was just the ground shaking. And I actually did hear that, and come to find out in the morning time that they were just aftershocks. And that's something that happens when you normally after an earthquake there are aftershocks. But for me, I felt like it was another earthquake. I felt like, oh my gosh, we're really gonna die for real. And every time I closed my eyes, that's all I could hear. And since that all I could hear, not all I could think about, I barely slept. And so during the day, my mom, she couldn't stand being in the house for too long, so she went and helped out. She went and provided food for others. And so my mom went out to help. My dad also went out to continue to do his work, I guess. But we weren't allowed to step a foot out. A couple days later, we got bored. After I think it was like a week or two, we were bored. We didn't know what the hell to do. We didn't know who to talk to because it was just my sister and I. And then after a while, my sister ended up staying inside, just staying by herself, and I went to my friend my best friend at the time, she also had family around my way, and I went to hang out with her family, and her family was going through some shit also, and it was very sad. And after a while, I couldn't stand it no more because it was so sad being there. And I hope that they were able to pull through afterwards. But I went right back home, stayed with my sister. After 3 4 weeks, by like from end of January, beginning of February, because this whole thing happened on January 12th. So 3 weeks, 4 weeks after that, whichever, my mom came home and saw that we were bored and told us that our school was a lot. It was crushed. The sisters that lived there, some did not make it and some did, but our school was pretty much non-existent. My cousin also, school happened the same way too, and it was just shock for me because I was just like, so how am I going to school? But deep down I was happy because, oh my gosh, school was kicking my ass. I felt stupid when I was going to school, but I was still worried that, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with education? And then my mom made the decision that you guys are leaving. And I'm like, are we gonna come back? She said, I don't know, but I don't want you guys not to have an education. I want you guys to still be able to go to school. So you going to school over there, and you're going to live there up until we get that stuff straightened down here. So I said, okay, are you coming with us? She said no. She will be with us at the beginning, but she's gonna have to come back home and do what she gotta do. So we were like, okay. So we started to pack her stuff. Some of her stuff, we couldn't bring everything because we only thought we were only gonna be there for a while, not years and years. So we, like I said, we packed her stuff, and then she comes to us. She's like, well, your cousin is coming with you too. And I said, okay. But then I asked her how we're going to get to the airport. Isn't the airport, didn't the airport collapse? And she's like, I believe part of it collapsed. So she told us that since that wasn't an option anymore, a cousin was going to come with us. And she told us that we were going to have to take the bus to Dominican Republic. Sorry, I'm thinking of the French way of saying it. Yeah. She told us, like, okay, alright. So we get our shit getting ready, and then we're all happy, you know, that we're leaving because we're going to school. Oh my gosh, we're going to school in America, and it's gonna be so different. That was like, to us, that was like a silver lining. It was like a positive thing. And then the day came around February 7th, I believe. February 7th or 6th. We loaded our stuff into the car. My dad was cousin at the bus station, and as we're driving, as my dad is driving, he's telling us, don't look outside the window, and you know, we're going to look. You tell us how we're going to look. So, oh my God, it was crazy. I started crying a little bit more because of the death surrounding us. It was dead people on the floor. There were dead people hanging on the building. People, I'm pretty sure they couldn't even reach these people. We saw a lot of collapsed building, and it smelled like death. And guys, like, I don't know. I knew death was around us. Even as my dad is driving, that's all I could smell. That was all I could think about. That's all I could see. It was just people on the floor. People were crying. People, even if it was a month later, at least a month later, people still were moaning. And and it was just so sad. So the happiness that was there because we were leaving was just gone, and we were just sad. And so we go. We finally arrived to the bus station, and then we meet both of our cousins. My older cousin and my younger cousin. My other cousin stayed behind. Loaded the truck. Then we got to the border. They went through our stuff, through our papers or whatever. And then I got to see how the Dominican Republic looks. And honestly, it's beautiful. I'm not even gonna fault them. I was such in awe, like, oh my gosh. I mean, we went to the country, obviously, and then we went to the city side. And it was beautiful, and I felt like, why can't our country looks like that? They were barely affected by it. We were. And the reason why we were so affected by the earthquake was because of the way everything was built in the city. So the walls were not meant to sustain, able to hold that much of I guess shake. It wasn't meant for that stuff. Like, we had houses that were made for rain, but we didn't think about houses that could survive an earthquake. So our house actually ended up having cracks, but if another earthquake was to hit, the house will collapse. Then comes the next day. We only stayed for one day in Dominican Republic, and the next day we took a flight to New York, and we got hit hard. And like, we came from the earthquake, and we went straight to the snow. And it was our first time actually seeing snow, because it's not something that you see back home. And when I used to come in the US, it was never during a cold time. It was always in the summertime. So it was a shock for us. And we didn't have anything to cover us. We didn't have a jacket. We didn't have a coat. We only have just shirts. And we just kept putting shirts on us while we were waiting for our ride. And that didn't take like 2 hours. So we were sitting in the snow for 2 hours, my sister and my cousins with our bags. And my mom wasn't around us, so we didn't know who to call. They were just told where we were gonna be at, and that was it. But the bus that took us to New York dropped us at the wrong location, and then we went to Philly. And y'all, and that's the story of it, of how I came to America. It's not a good story. When I look back on this, I just think about just how grateful I am to be alive, how grateful my mom is alive, my dad, my sister, my cousins, like everybody I know is still alive. Even though there were some students that lost their lives at the school or at their homes, I still feel like I was grateful, and that's something I never took for granted. And still to this day, I get shocked. I get really scared of loud noises. Like, so especially if I'm not expecting it, it takes me back. Or if I'm sleeping at nighttime, I'm very alert. Even though I'm asleep, I hear everything, and I mean I hear everything. Alarms going off, and I hear, if I feel like I'm shaking, it just brings me back to that time of when I was 14. And it sucks. It's not something I think I would ever get over with. I'm not too sure how my sister's dealing with that. It's just my trauma to bear. And I think that for most of us that went through this, the trauma is still there. It took me a while to not even be scared of flying. I used to love when we fly, but in an airplane, because of, when you land and then you hear all that bloop, bloop, it would scare me. And now I'm okay with that. But since we are doing that whole quarantine thing, it had me thinking about, with all these deaths going on, and it makes me think about back home when I almost lost my life. And to have this going on, I wouldn't want this to happen to anybody. So this is a story of when I came to America. Reminds me of that of the movie Coming to America. Yeah, it makes me think of that. I think that's where I got the title from. But yeah, so this is my story. This is me bearing my soul to you guys, telling you how I came up here. So I do want to say, guys, thank you if you have made it this far. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for even subscribing, even though I know you guys don't have to. But if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. I make sure. It will be it will be appreciated if you do. And don't forget, you guys, to also click on that bell thing for the notifications. And I hope that you guys stay safe. I hope that you guys stay healthy. And if you guys actually like this story, if you guys like me talking about a story time, let me know. And I'll definitely give you guys my feedback on that. So, thank you.